5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Chairman Lucas. Following up on the ranking member's comments, I noticed in your written testimony you mentioned the threat of Ukraine and Russia, but there was no mention of China whatsoever, and until the ranking member posed her question. And so I wanted to just directly ask you, do you feel there's any kind of existential threat from China?
I think there's a huge threat from China. We're looking at that and working on that in terms of exploring our national labs and making sure that all the investment that we make as taxpayers doesn't find its way, as it has too often with American businesses, to China. In terms of our American competitiveness, we're spending a lot of money and executing on diversifying our supply chains, including for critical minerals, which right now too much of that production's in China. Yep. So across the board, it's absolutely a key focus of our department.
Thank you. As you're well aware, there was at least one thing that President Obama and President Trump both agreed on, and that is we should place tariffs on Chinese solar panels if we wanted American industry to prosper. The State Department clearly determined that China was evading the tariffs by sending them through Malaysia, Thailand, other countries, slapping on a made in that country label, and bringing them to the United States without tariffs. We passed bipartisan legislation to overturn the president's waiver of those tariffs, and he vetoed it. I can see the benefit to the Chinese, but I'm just wondering if the Department of Energy can see any benefit to that veto for the United States of America or Americans.
So we spend a lot of time on these issues, solar, but looking at all the other critical technologies and the jobs associated with those technologies if we win the competition.
No, I'm just trying to figure what the logic was behind allowing them to continue evading the laws and the tariffs.
Well, and we just announced Section 301 tariffs on a range of goods to try to make sure that we've got trade policy matched up with what we're doing with grants and loans.
I know that. I'm just wondering,
all in an industrial strategy.
What the logic could have possibly been for vetoing the legislation that would have enforced the tariffs.
Well, the thing that we're doing, and this is where our analytical capabilities come in.
Just the logic. I know you're trying to make some amends for that, and I appreciate that. I'm just wondering what the logic was behind vetoing it.
So let me, we look sector by sector, technology by technology. What are we doing on the grant side, on the loan side, on the tax incentive side, and how do we protect those investments with tariffs, with trade policy, and do it all in a very systematic, very orderly way, not just our department, but working with USTR, our trade representative, State Department. And so happy to talk to Congressman at your, whenever you're eager to talk about solar or other issues to show how we're analyzing all that. And we put forward recommendations of this tariff should be increased, this tariff should be lowered, all those kinds of things.
We're wasting time, so that there is no logic that you can think of how those vetoes could have helped Americans.
So again, it's part of this broader strategy that we're doing on solar, and happy to talk about how that fits in.
Gentleman yields back.